The Wolves are on the brink of falling off this season. They lose to Brentford 2-0, and now their season looks like it's dire. Like it could just fall apart. They could lose their team morale very, very soon. Brentford, who just came up from the second division from from the championship, they have a great start to the season. I want to give Brentford all the credit. They have a lot of players that are making their debut to the Premier League. They've never played in the Premier League, and now they're there and they're showing out. They look like they belong. They play with a lot of heart. So I want to give Brentford, all the credit in the world. Thoroughly deserve to beat the Wolves this past weekend, and they defend with a lot of grit. For some people, they were wasting too much time, and it's not the best soccer, but honestly, I can't fault them. It's whatever tactics you got to do to stay up, especially in your first season. So can't really fault it. Wolves should have been better. Wolves did not have a shot on target, even though they played against 10 men in like the last 30 minutes. Just a disgraceful, pitiful, embarrassing performance by the Wolves. I myself am a Wolves fan, so I woke up early, woke up at 4:30 in the morning, just so I could watch the Wolves. Even though I had to drive later on that day, make a little road trip, but it didn't matter. I wanted to watch the Wolves. I wanted to see. I thought we were in for a win. I thought this was going to be the Wolves. They're going to start stacking wins back to back, but it wasn't to be. The Wolves had 11 shots, 0 on target. They didn't look dangerous. They played against 10 men for the last 30 minutes. They kept putting forwards. Silva came on. Podence came on. They sent everybody. Everybody was up top. Adama, Trincao played left back. They were playing with like 6 or 7 attackers, and they could just not get it done. It was not to be for the Wolves. And now we're here, dumbfounded at what the Wolves should do going forward. Bruno has brought a more offensive style. It looks a little better, but that defense is just not strong enough. Size, Connor Cody, they just look weak. It looks like a weak back line. I think they should go to a 4. Ideally, they should go to a 4, but they just don't have the center backs to do it. Kilman should have slid that ball out of bounds, but he tried to keep it on his feet, and he let them get away with it. That midfield doesn't have enough dynamic movement. Moutinho's very old. Neves is not the most dynamic midfielder. He's a great midfielder, but he's not the most dynamic. Marcal, I think he should not be starting. That was a terrible, terrible penalty. It gets me mad just thinking about it. Like, what are you doing? You could see it coming before. He caused the penalty on the second back-to-back corner kick, and on the first one they could have called it too. I was watching and I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you holding on to this man so hard? Just do it with one sidearm. Try to be discreet. But he was just hugging this man, and that was the first corner. And Brentford earned another corner after the first corner, and I was like, okay, someone should tell Marçal, someone should tell him, yo, ease off, dude. It's very obvious what you're doing. No one tells him that. He's doing the same thing, and sure enough, penalty on the second corner. I was watching the game laying in bed, and I could see it coming from miles away. I saw under the Wolves post that other people could see it coming too. It was blatant, terrible defending on a corner kick. And it was just a frustrating morning just overall. Adama got to the touchline, got to the baseline a couple times, but those crosses, they just continue to be poor, terrible. You just applaud him for the power and the speed that he possesses. He's always able to get to the byline, but his crosses, his service is just terrible. It's so frustrating because if he could just get that last part of his game down, he would be so good. But it's he's 25 years old now. When is it gonna come? Is it gonna come? You hope that it will, but it just doesn't seem like it's getting better. Raul Jimenez, he's just not the same player. He's not getting the chances. He's losing possession sometimes. Hopefully for Wolves fans and for Jimenez and for the Mexican national team, he comes back into form, but it's taking longer than you would have wished for. Trincao, after playing amazing in the first few games, he's being a little more sloppy with the ball. He's trying to over dribble sometimes. He's not getting into dangerous positions enough. That it looks hard. You look at the Wolves roster and you just think, where are the goals going to come from? If Raul Jimenez is not in form, he's not the Raul Jimenez that he was. Hopefully he comes back, but he's not right there. Adama can't score. He's not a finisher. He's not a crosser. He's a very good dribbler. He's very fast. Trincao, not really known as a scorer. Neto is probably the biggest scorer, but he's still injured. Fabio Silva, he's still young and unproven, and it looks like that money, hopefully it turns out to be a good investment, but right now it's not. Moutinho, Neves, they're not really goal scorers. Semedo doesn't really get forward like that as a wing back. Marca doesn't really, he shoots wild shots, but they don't really look dangerous. Potence is not really a scorer. It's just where are the goals going to come from? That's the defense, the lack of speed, of dynamic play from the midfield, and looking at your front line and thinking like they're pretty quality players, but they're not goal scorers. Where are the goals going to come from? Those are the problems with the Wolves. You need to get better play from your center backs to have stout defense. You need to add speed to the midfield, and you need to add goal scorers. Thankfully for the Wolves, Juan Ki-chan looks like he's dangerous. Looks like he's going to be a great loanee for the Wolves. But other than that, it's very, very dire. Willy Bally should be the starting center back moving forward. I've heard about benching Cody. Like, he's a decent center back for a back five, but if you want to go to a back four, he might not be quality enough. Size should be benched. There's a lot of things that needs to be happening with the Wolves. I hope this is overreaction. I hope it turns it around. But if you look thoroughly dominated by Brentford, if you don't look like it's like, you have a goal scoring chance, the goalie had 0 shots on target. He had no saves from a team that just got promoted from the championship. Like, it should be better than this, and it's not. And hopefully Bruno Ball starts clicking and we start getting goals, but it doesn't look like it is. And they play Southampton this Sunday, so we'll see how they do that. Play Tottenham today, so we'll see how they do. But Southampton, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Leeds, Everton, Crystal Palace, West Ham, Norwich City, Burnley, and then you play Liverpool and Man City, and then Brighton and Chelsea. So those are 4 hard. The schedule is not too hard till you get to Liverpool and Manchester City. So we'll see if the Wolves are able to turn it around. But overall, it's been frustrating, hard to watch. The last few games. At the beginning, it was very nice to watch. It was easy on the eyes. But lately, it's been frustrating. It's been annoying. It's been, just hard as a Wolves fan. Especially if you're waking up at 4:30 in the morning to catch your Wolves and they just let you down. But hopefully the Wolves turn it around and they're able to have a better season. But just a very disappointing loss to Brentford. And let me know what you guys think. If there's any Wolves fans out there, how do you think the season is going to play out? I think right now, as of week, 4 match days in or 5 match days in, I would just be happy to stay up, to be honest. 16th in the table right now. I would be ecstatic if the Wolves stay up. I had top 10 aspirations when the season came in. But right now, if you were to tell me that the Wolves are going to stay in the Premier League and they're going to have another season next year in the Premier League, I would happily take that. And it's kind of sad, but that's just the way I feel right now, 5 match days in. But let me know if you guys think, am I being a pessimist? Is this going to be okay? Do we still have top 10 aspirations? Can we still fight for Europe? Let me know what you guys think.